Hello, I am Callie Valenzisi, and today I will be talking about the credit card. The credit card is all around us, and many of us can't remember a time when there weren't credit cards. But how did the credit card originate? In 1950, New York businessman Frank McNamara was at a nice restaurant, but after eating, he realized he forgot his wallet, and this inspired him to create the Diners Club. So in the 1920s, department stores created courtesy cards, where customers could use the card to charge purchases and then pay it back later. But these cards were only accepted by the merchants that issued them. So the Diners Club was a card that would charge the merchants 7%, but they were promised that the consumers would spend more. And the cardholders would pay a $3 membership fee each month, and they only got one bill for all of their dining expenses that month. So soon enough, the Diners Club became very popular. In the first year, they got around 42,000 members, and by 1953, it became the first internationally accepted charge card. Around the 1958-1960s, many competing companies like Bank of America and American Express started to emerge. Today, there are tons of credit card companies, and people rarely use cash anymore due to the ease of using a credit card. If I had to grade the credit card as a change agent on a scale of 1 to 10, I would give it a 7. I also believe that this great amount of change was a foe to America. And I have 3 reasons for this: the change in economy, the change in society, and the change in health. So first, economy. Richard Duncan, the author of bestseller The Dollar Crisis: Causes, Consequences, Cures, says, when credit is expanding, consumers can borrow and spend more, and businesses can borrow and invest more. Increasing consumption and investment creates jobs and expands income and profits. Moreover, the expansion of credit tends to cause the price of assets, such as stocks and property, increase, thereby boosting the net worth of the public. So this just kind of explains how the credit card boosted the economy. And yes, all of this was very positive, and this would make the credit card look like a friend to America, but with all these positives to credit in the economy, there was also a lot of debt. Richard Duncan also states, eventually, however, credit card-induced economic boom comes to an end when one or more important sector of the economy becomes incapable of repaying the interest on its debt. So in March of 1969, when credit cards started to be widely used, the U.S. credit card debt per household was $0, but by March of 2009, the debt was close to $9,000 per household. So this shows that even though there are a lot of positives to the credit card in the economy and that it can boost our economy, Americans have put themselves in so much debt due to the credit card because they tend to spend so much more money with it. So this brings me into my next point, how the credit card changed society. So as I just stated, the credit card gave Americans the opportunity to spend more money, so they did. Lindsay Kanoko from nerdwallet.com says, psychologically, it seems like it would be easier for someone to purchase more because a card, while tangible, does not represent actual money. It's just a piece of plastic, and a shopper does not see the result of their expenditure for almost a month. Also, a study at McDonald's shows that people who use credit cards tend to spend 12 to 18% more with a credit card than cash. So this just shows that people tend to spend more money with a credit card than by actually using cash. So another issue that can come up socially with the credit card is impulse buying. So consumer psychologist Ian Zimmerman says, impulse buying is related to anxiety and unhappiness. The impulse buyer may feel unhappy and may think that being seen with an expensive new purchase will bring respect and happiness. This perceived road to happiness motivates the impulse buyer to go shopping. And so also with this increased spending and this impulse buying, again, this is why America became in so much debt. And with this debt comes marital issues even. A study at Family Relationships showed that newlyweds who disagreed about financial issues like debt at least once a week were more likely to divorce within 5 years than other couples who disagreed about things like chores, in-laws, or time spent together. So all of this shows how with the credit card people spend more money and buy things even though they don't need them, which puts America in debt. And with this debt comes issues with the relationships and also health. So this brings me into my last point about how it changed the health of Americans. So there's a lot of research that ties bad health to debt. At Northwestern University, a study found that adults from ages 24 to 32 who had high debt-to-asset ratios, meaning that if they sold all their belongings, they would not have enough money to pay off their debt, had poor general health and high blood pressure. Another study, Elizabeth Sweet, professor at University of Massachusetts, Boston, found that people that are in higher debt have stress levels that are 11.7% higher than average. At Rutgers University, a study showed that adults ages 51 and older showed more depressive symptoms if they were in debt. A University of Michigan study showed that people with high credit card debt are less likely to visit a doctor or a dentist for a regular checkup, or if they are even sick. So this credit card has created a chain reaction. It did boom the economy at first, but then Americans started to spend more money because, as Lindsay Kanoko stated, it's easier for them to spend a lot more money with a card than it is with the actual cash. So people started to spend more money, and impulse buying became an issue, and gradually debt built up in America. And with this debt came issues like marital problems, and a lot of health problems also came with this debt. So that debt caused Americans to basically decline. So from all of this, I believe that the credit card changed America a lot, a 7 out of 10. But these changes did not help America, they harmed America.